A lot of people think I'm not the full squid, and rightly so if you've ever met me, but this guy is. He is a prime example of the squid species. Have a look at the size of him. He's an absolute monster. Now this is the way that I like to buy squid from the seafood market, nice and fresh on the day of capture. But it can be a little bit tricky trying to prepare these, so I'll show you all the tips. First of all, you'll notice in under here there's a bit of an ink sac, and that can be a problem if you break it. So we're just going to pull that out, and we haven't broken that ink sac, so that's very important. Okay, pull him out. Now, these little wings have to come off, and they all come off pretty easy, and the skin will peel off as well. So you just keep working yourself around in a circular motion, and there it is. It all comes off as one. In here, we've got a cartilage, which is actually the backbone of the squid, and you'll see that's a bit inky in there. But the best way to get it out is just to take a knife and slip him all the way up the side in one motion. And there it is, it'll all come out in one go. Alright, a little bit of mucking around as you can see, but we haven't got too dirty. I'll tidy this up and I'll show you how to prepare it for the barbecue. Squid has a reputation of being tough, and particularly down in this area here, so we're just going to take that off and discard that, and the same up the other end here, we'll just discard that as well. So now we're going to marinate this, so what we need to do is to honeycomb it so it's nice and tender. We'll just take some strips, cut lengthways along the squid like this, and a nice sharp knife is a distinct advantage. And then what you need to do is just come up into the corner and get a nice sharp knife and just run some cuts down along lengthways of the squid, about halfway through. You don't want it to go all the way through the squid. And then turn him around the other way, and we come back the other way, and you get this honeycomb effect, and that's what it's actually called, honeycombing of squid. See that? And that comes up absolutely beautifully. I'm going to finish the rest of these off and we'll be ready for the marinade. And now to our last piece, and what I really like about this, the effect it gives you, it's just like corn on the cob, and it also makes your squid very tender, and all the beautiful ingredients we're going to use to marinate it with can just seep through and should be nice and tender. Okay, that's ready to go. Now we need to put that straight into a Tupperware type container. And now to our marinade. I'm going to put in a little bit of parsley, probably about a teaspoon. Then we're going to put in a little splash of olive oil, probably about 2 or 3 tablespoons. A good squeeze of lime. This is the juice of half a lime. You can put a little bit more in if you want. Always remember with my recipes, if there's something you don't like, leave it out. If there's something you really like, put it in. Good squeeze of lime juice in there. A little bit of garlic, probably about a tablespoon. And basically what we need to do is to put the lid on that and put it into the fridge for about 4 to 6 hours. Now I've got some here that I've prepared earlier, as all good cooking segments do, and that's what it comes out like. And it's basically almost cooked. So that's ready to go on the barbecue very, very soon. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little sauce to go with it. So I've got my pan on my char grill and it's red hot. So first thing I'm going to do is to throw in a few onions. There's about 2 tablespoons there, finely chopped. And then we're going to put in some rich, luscious Roma tomatoes. These are really ripe, and I've cut them up into little squares. And this is going to make like a little spicy salsa. We're going to fry those off for a few secs. Then I'm just going to put in a little bit of fish stock. There's about half a cup there, and that's going to give us a delicious flavour. And that's going to keep it nice and moist. And then the next step is I'm going to throw in some pawpaw and mango chutney, and this is the hot one, so it adds a little bit of spice. So in that goes, there's a big tablespoon of that, and we're just going to let that reduce and simmer away for about 3 to 4 minutes. Now our sauce is looking absolutely sensational, but I'm going to throw some more accompaniment on. What I have here is some sweet potato, and I'm just going to brush it with a little garlic, parsley oil, and I've also got some roasted red and green capsicum to go on later. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to take these and we're going to put them onto our hot barbecue plate and seal them off, and then we're going to throw them on the char grill. So we'll seal this off on the other side, and as you see they get a beautiful charred colour there. And then we're just going to throw them over onto the char grill and really get that nice charcoal effect on them. My sauce has reduced to a perfect consistency, so the next step is to put the roasted capsicum on. Now I actually cheated, I just threw these in a little bit of a pan. with some garlic and some oil, and that we're just going to brush that on there. Just throw him on the barbecue, you'll come up a treat. So there's a little tip. On it goes, just to warm him through, and then we're going to throw our squid on. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay, now our marinated squid. That's got a fair bit of oil in there as well. We've had a little bit of oil come off our sweet potato and here, but I'm just going to make sure that we're well lubricated on the plate, because squid needs to be cooked at a high temperature for a very short period of time. So we'll put another little splash of olive oil there, that around, and we lay our squid into that hot oil. Look at that. You watch them curl up beautifully. They don't take long to cook. 45 seconds to a minute is the tops that you want to cook squid. So they're ready to turn over, and look at that honeycomb effect you get, and a nice colour as well. And then I'm just going to splash the remaining marinade over the top, and we are ready to serve. Now we're going to serve. So we take our sweet potato, we lay that in the middle of our plate, just like that, and then we put our capsicum red and green on top of that, and then we place our beautiful rich sauce, bit of that spoon, a little bit on top of that, just like so, spread it along, and then we put our squid, which has just rolled up absolutely perfectly for me. Look at that, and how's the presentation? That just looks magnificent, and this will be tender as because of the marination process. And then I'm just going to finish off with a little bit more of the sauce just through the middle, so you still get that wonderful presentation. But have a look at that. There's plenty of sauce there to keep it nice and moist, and maybe a little bit of parsley and just a touch of red capsicum for garnish. Well, there you have it, marinated squid. Now, our favourite wine to go with this is a beautiful Hunter Valley Semillon.